Alright, back for another vlog, and today it's a little sunny and warm out, and yeah, this dad outfit, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to figure something out now that it's getting into summer. Y'all get me one of these long sleeve hoodies or crew necks every Father's Day, Micah, you and your mom, so I might have to ask for a short sleeve one next time, because I want to keep the dad ensemble going, but it's a little warm. But anyways, today, wanted to talk about just what I'm hoping to build to leave to you, Micah, and kind of leave you with that thought. LMN Capture. That's the creative studio that me and your mother started. We do photography, videography, and now we're even building websites for clients. And honestly, if this is what the 21-year-old like Nico, fresh out of college, would have loved to do. You know, I got into corporate America because it seemed like the right thing to do, good money there and all that kind of stuff. But to be able to like deliver on this creative stuff the way I'm delivering it, it's fantastic. And I'm building it in, L, Lauren, M, Micah, and Nico. It's ours. Like, it's something that's ours, and it's something that I hope you're proud of one day. But it got me to thinking, we just hit, like, we're right at $20,000 in sales for the year. We started in January. And like $100 away from 20,000, and that's not a lot. Like, that's just a fraction of what I make for my corporate gig, but that's not a flex or anything like that. It's ours though. Like, we built it. Every single dollar that we got, like, we worked hard to get, and it's honestly the best almost $20,000 I've ever made in my entire life, and it is the most proud of I am, because it's something me and your mother have done together, and we built it on our own under the circumstances of us wanting to build something to leave to you. And it just reminded me of like my granddad, and my granddad, your great grandfather, Papa, we called him. Papa was a pastor, and you'll know all this by now, but Papa was a pastor, and he had a bookkeeping business, and he had his own church, Southern Missionary Baptist Church. And when he passed away, he left us that church, and he owned the building, and he had the church, and the legacy he left with that church was great. And did we keep the church? No. Did some things happen that caused us to have to sell the church? And yes, but the fact of the matter is, like, when it comes to like a family business or leaving your children something, one thing I learned from him was find your, as he would call it, your ministry. But like what I like to say find your ministry too, but find like your calling, or what you're good at, and I want you to do that. Mine wasn't in the church, and that's fine. I don't want to force that. Yours might not be a creative studio. Like, I want to leave you this business just as an asset. Like, you can have the book of business to sell to someone. If you don't want to do it, if you do want to do it, keep it going. But what I'm hoping that I can teach you in the process is something my granddad taught me, which is when you're building it, like the hard work that goes in. I have a 9 to 5 full-time job, pretty high level, high paying tech job. And I work that during the day, and I work that, a lot of hours, but then I put in the hours after to do this, to build something for you. And like, step one is like putting in that work. And I want you to know that you should always take the time to build you. And I've learned that the hard way. Your mother and I both have learned that the hard way. I put a lot of time into the tech companies, and, still got fired last year out of a whim. No reason. And I've learned that even with the RSUs that you get and all that kind of good stuff, if it's not vested, it's not yours. And at the end of the day, I'm also not important enough to make a decision to even affect the stock price of my RSU. Like, they like to make us think that we are, but at the end of the day, I'm not making those big decisions that affect if the stock price goes up or down. So I'm still at someone else's mercy. And I said that to say, I own 100% of LMN Capture. Well, me and your mother, we own it. You own it. That is ours to keep, and that comes from hard work. So, hopefully one day it does take over, and I don't have to go to the tech job, and this job could be my full-time job, and it's something I leave to you. But then on the other side of that, what my granddad taught me was how you treat people matters. And he left us a church, he left us a business, if that's what we wanted to go with doing in his bookkeeping business. But what he left me more than anything with was, I watched how he interacted with, at the church, all of his members. Whether you were a high-paying tither, financially back in the church, like one of the big ones, or someone who didn't give anything and just showed up every week, he treated everyone the same. And he made everyone who walked in that church feel like they were so special. And that was his superpower. And that's what I try and teach myself, or try and do myself, what he taught me, and what I hope you do, Micah. And when you take that, and whatever you do, you work hard, you do the best that you can do. But then also the people that you interact with, make sure you treat every single one of them like they are the best, because they are the best, and that's what they deserve. Our first client at LMN Capture, we got paid $250 to do a baby shower. And I just wanted to try something to get someone to pay me who wasn't a family member or a friend that would say they either liked my work or didn't like my work and had no strings attached to it, and they were a paying customer. And $250, we stayed there for like 5 or 6 hours. I did a pre-shoot at the studio with them, so it definitely was not a good business decision. But I wanted to make sure that, I could get my workflow going, and it was a learning experience for me. But being that they only paid $250, I treated them as if they paid me $1 million. And like, that is what set the tone for our business. Your mother and I both did that. And the way we interact with our customers, we always want every single person that we work with to at least walk away with, hey, they treated us great. And I think, that's important in this world, making people, not treating people by what they can do for you, treating people a certain way because it's right. And that's just how people deserve to be treated. So that's just my little nugget for today is, I hope one day we can leave you with LMN Capture, but I'm also hoping one day you can just do whatever you want to do. Whether that's, you say you want to be in the NBA, hey, I believe in it. Go for it. You're going to be in the NBA. Or, hey, you want to go be a doctor? I don't know. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, I support it. And I want you to, 1, try your hardest. And then 2, treat everybody you interact with in whatever that is in the best way possible, and make sure they might not remember every little thing that you've done for them, but I always want them to remember how you make them feel. So that's just my little 2 cents for today.